Welcome everyone. Welcome to the class. Today we want to look at tones in the three major Nigerian languages. We want to look at tones in the three major languages that we have in Nigeria. Tones are very important, especially in a situation when the language is tonal. And if we look at the three major Nigerian languages that we have been treating in this class, the three of them are tonal languages. So let us look at tones in Háúsá, Ìgbò, and Yorùbá language. Tones are the variation in the pitch of the glottis to make lexical and grammatical meanings. Tones bring a change in lexical meaning, while in English language, tones do not have any role to play. Rather, what we have in English language is intonation. And intonation do not change the meaning of lexical items. But tones do change the lexical meaning of words. Tones characterize most Niger-Congo languages. An example of Niger-Congo languages are Háúsá, Ìgbò, and Yorùbá. In tone languages, there are three levels of tones. There are three level tones: the high tone, the mid tone, and the lower tone. Usually, for conveniences, the mid tone is usually left unmarked, and there are contour tones. Tones play significant role in language where they are found. And so where they are tested, it means learners must know how to tone mark. And tones are important in making lexical and syntactic distinction. But not many people, even including linguists, like to tone mark because tones are difficult to mark in writing. All first language speakers of tone languages know it intuitively. Naturally, all first speakers know how to tone mark in speech, but not all know how to mark them in writing. And so it requires training. And so you, as teachers of the three major Nigerian languages, should teach your pupils how to mark in writing. So tone marking is part of the teaching that language teachers have to give to your students as a second language. So teach your students how to tone mark. Tones are significant in second language teaching, and as a result, they must be taught. They must be taught because they aid the pronunciation of oral communication in the second language. So with tone marking, it aids oral pronunciation, it aids effective pronunciation, it aids oral communication, effective oral communication in second language learning. Also, it makes distinction between words and try to remove ambiguity, especially with words that have multiple meaning, especially with words that are spelled the same way but means different things. So it is tones that will help us to know. For example, we have shoe in this slide. You can see the image, the shoe. In Yoruba, it is called bata. It is tone mark that help us if there is no image of this shoe there. With tone mark, we will know is bata, do. And so we will not pronounce it as this. This is drum. You can see that they are spelled the same way, but this is pronounced bata, the drum. Bata, do, mi. So tones help to distinguish and to disambiguate words with multiple meanings. Also, we use tone as a criteria to build minimal pairs in tone idiophones. We use tone as criteria to build minimal in idiophones. So tones are easily confused and taken for minimal pairs. So when they are confused, they'll be taken for minimal pairs. Meanwhile, they are not. As a result, teach students to recognize and to mark. Teach and encourage them to tone mark in order to assist them to perceive, to recognize, and produce them orally, and mark them in writing to disambiguate idiophones in. Although all first language speakers are able to make tone mark tones in speech, they still have to be taught on how to mark in the first language when it comes to writing the first language. So native speakers and non-native speakers have to be taught tone marking. So the music tone, do, re, mi, are used to present. So let us look at tones mark in Yoruba language. We have do, re, mi, do, re, mi. The low tone mark do, àmì ohùn ìsàlẹ̀. The second one is mid tone mark re, àmì ohùn àárí. And remember we said that one do not usually carry any mark. And the third one is high tone mark mi, àmì ohùn. So the musical tone, the musical note do is used to denote low mark this way as do, àkàrà, do. Dodo is fried plantain, àkàrà is fried beans when you grate it and you fry it inside the oil. We call it fried beans. The musical note re is used to mark the mid tone. Mid tone is regularly unmarked, is usually unmarked. So you should understand and interpret it as mid tone. For example, igi, re, so there is no need for tone. Then we have igi means wood, and we have ẹja, which is fish, re. The third one, the musical note is mi, and is used to represent the high tone as in mi, as in do, mi. So reading relevant and related passages, the use of rhymes and song, and some of the ways tones can be taught and practiced. So you as teachers, you need to develop different methodologies in which you can teach your students how to tone mark. And we have said reading relevant and related passages, as well as rhymes and songs, and some of the ways in which tone marks can be taught. The difficulty involved in tone is not the one tone or monotone word, but the polytonal words or polysyllabic words that are longer or that are of more syllable. So polytonal or polysyllabic words are difficult in terms of pronunciation because of the associated pitch and rhythm variation. But that is where the beauty of pronunciation of Nigerian words lies. The same way intonation beautify into English language or intonational languages. So one additional reason why you must tone mark is to remove ambiguity, which are inherent in idiophones, especially in writing. So in speech, idiophones are easily recognized in context, but in written form, they are not. So for example, in Yoruba, we have Ìgbà, which means calabash. Remi, Ìgbà. Number 2, we have Ìgbà, time. We have Ìgbà, time. Then we have Ìgbà, locusts being poured. Then we have Ìgbà, that we use to climb palm tree. Then we have Ìgbà, which is mid-tone, re. So you can see that the spelling of these words are the same thing. It is on the tone that we are able to pronounce them. Even if the meaning are not stated, with the tone, you will be able to get what you should say, you should write, or you should pronounce. So tone help us to remove importance, because they help us to remove ambiguity. So let us look at tone mark in Igbo. You remember we said that tone mark cuts across the 3 languages. In Igbo, we have the following tone marks. Number 1, number 2, number 3. You can see the mark are different. So number 1 and number 3 have the same spelling, the same set of letters, but the tone marking has helped us to distinguish what each of them means. The same thing with number 4 and number. Then we also have tone marks in Háúsá language. Tone marks in Háúsá language is being illustrated in this example. Number 1, example 1 and example 2, they are spelled the same way, but you can see that with tone marking, they mean different thing. Then we have others example. So you can see that Nigerian 3 major languages are tonal languages, and so tones must be taught in our classes. So tones play lexical semantic functions. They help to distinguish meaning in items with identical segmental phonemes. For example, ọkọ, that is husband; ọkọ, that is owl that we take to farm to work; ọkọ̀, that is arrow; and ọkọ̀, that is vehicle. So tone plays syntactic and grammatical roles. So apart from playing lexical semantic functions, it also plays syntactic and grammatical roles. Tones are lexically and semantically important. They are used to separate the meaning of words which are otherwise identical in their segmental position. So tones help us to separate meaning, to distinguish meaning of words, especially words that have similar spellings. It is through tones that you will be able to know that this is what this particular word means here, and the contextual use of that. So the teacher of Nigerian languages must teach tones and tone marking. One of the methods of teaching tone is through minimal pairs. So minimal pairing is very useful in teaching second language tones and to teach our pupils tone marking. We should let them know the importance, that it is very germane, especially when the language is tonal, like we have in the 3 major languages. And so it is very, very important on us as teachers to know tones and to teach our students tones. This is because you cannot give what you don't have. So if you as a teacher of Nigerian languages do not emphasize tone marking or do not know how to tone mark, then it will be difficult for you to teach. And so it is very important to teach, because at WAEC level, they are expected to write exam using tone marking. So this also should be inculcated into them right from internal examination, so that when that attitude, that skill is developed, it will be part and parcel of them, and they will be able to tone mark accordingly. With this, we come to the end of the class, and I say bye-bye. Thanks for listening.